Hello, I'm Floyd, and this is, of course, World of Tanks, and I'm in the Comet. Now, this is a. I have got so many good Comet replays. I struggled with the one to show, so this isn't the one. I've got a couple. Well, I've got one actually where I've got the ace and lots of ones and stuff. And this wasn't a particularly. I didn't get lots of decent medals, and that's not what. So I'm not showing you for that reason. It's more of how useful the tank can be when you hull it down. Oh, emergency stop. Oh, nearly drove into the SU. So I've already pinged the map once on the where are we? Serene Coast, because I thought it was maybe a little light. But we've got the IS coming over, which is Ewax, who's the new best bud. You'll see why later. Not through his fault, but more mine. Just waiting. I don't want to necessarily go there on my own. I'm going to move over to the little valley, you know, with the two rocks. It's like a little choke point, but I'm going to keep to the left. Obviously, don't want to get spotted and get shot on the approach. Wait for a few tanks to get into position. There we go. The IS is there, and they have their two VKs, one heavy, one medium. Got a KV-1S over the back there. The Wolverine and see the Tiger is not too far away. We don't want him coming this way if we can help it, but so we can get one in on the turret. That's the medium, so we can get away with that. Track me. That's not too bad. That's so we're going to try and push across to try and yeah. If we can keep that KV-85 on that side of the hill. Every time he comes up, he's going to be looking into the sky. The depression on those things is appallingly bad. You've pretty much got to be level to take a shot at a tank in front of you. Ideally, you want someone to hit that Stug. That'll do nicely. Right, so let's push round, finish off the medium. Caught fire, very lucky. Now he's got the slower, I think he's got the 88 on that, so it's a slower loading gun. Penetration isn't as good as the Waffle, which is the gun I tend to use. So I should be able to get a lot more shots off by the time he gets. Oh, there you go. So we've still got an IS with me, the 150 and the IS KV, and there's another KV-1S to the back. Now, if we can draw them over, that'd be quite nice. So we've got an 85 in front of us, a possible Tiger, and I believe that's a Wolverine as well. There's the 85. Oh, and we've got a little VK. Another 3601. That's the tier 5 though, I believe, isn't it? It's not the 36, it's the 33001. My apologies. So that's the tier 5 heavy. I believe it was a tier 6 at one point, wasn't it? I can't remember. Oh, and there's the Wolverine, but he's nearly dead. Now, that was rather silly of me. That was totally my fault. I reversed into him in sniper mode. But instead of raging about it, he says sorry. What a nice guy. Totally my fault though. I take full responsibility for that. I was trying to help him and I got in his way. But I haven't got time to put that in chat, so I just put no problem. So even though only a couple people generally see the videos, I apologise to him. For the fine more than anything else. Okay, panic shot on the VK. Try again, settle. That's better. Next one. This tank's just awesome. The reload is, I can't remember what it is. It's got to be about 4.5 seconds or something like that, possibly 5. No, it's got to be about 4.5. Maybe even less than that. But it's pretty damn decent. It's got decent penetration. To be fair, the whole British line of tanks, once you get to the Cromwell, that line comes alive. They're just great tanks. Very much hold down. And after the Cromwell, they do tend to slow up a little bit. From the Conquerors, a little bit slower. Pretty good at going uphill though. The engines definitely push it up nicely. But still manoeuvrable enough. Forwards and backwards to try and stay out of harm's way. So any shots that I take from now, if at all possible, I've got to get them in the turret. That's my only chance of surviving. The turret is I think it's 111mm. Put one in. His depression, I don't think he could get down that low. Once you play that tank, you just see how terrible it is. You've got to keep it on the flat. The rate of fire is pretty good. I think it's around about 6 or 7 seconds for one of those. And a turret, bounced it on the turret. Oh, the range, that's at top. So yeah, so even so. And a Tiger. Now we're in trouble. And take one from the Tiger as well. And give him one as a thank you back. So at this point, we've been joined by a 150 coming up the rear, but he's a fairly new player, I believe. He's pushing forward now. He was in the sniping position before. Oh, nice. Tiger on the side. And he's looking the other way. Could have been in real trouble there. Will not have time to get another one in, I don't believe. No. Back to the 85. Still a very close game. It's 13-11. 13-10, sorry. I can't coax that 85, the KV-85 to fire, so I'm going to go and see what the Tiger's doing. He's looking the other way, so if I can get one in on his turret or his lower plate. My chance to get rid of him. So, down to the last Tiger. Oh, lower plate. No, tracks. Didn't work. Didn't track him. Might have damaged his tracks, slowed him down a touch, but ideally would have liked to have stopped him. Still in a good position to stay out of his way. I can't risk going over like that. It's just... We've got KVS, Nash Horn. Moving in, I believe there's Hellcat with the Nash on as well. Our 50's taking a right kick in. He's also down to a few hit points. To be fair, if I was a Tiger, I would be pushing forward right now. It's just might as well come at. He might get us both. He's got to ram one and shoot the other. If the 150 doesn't do it for him. Okay, so we split his fire. The depression's not quite that good to get up on that, and I'm not popping over there. That's just crazy. Let's go further round. And Neshorn's just going for it. He's only got 15 hit points, and he's just going to... Yeah, I'm not sure how that was going to end any other way, but never mind. Not a bad game. So we ended with a Class 1 Spartan and high caliber. What did we get? 2,800 damage. That's not too bad, you know, in a Comet. I think that's pretty okay. Took 30 shots, hit 26 of them, and penetrated 24. Again, not bad. So I figured, as I've got so many good Comet replays, and it's a tank I enjoy the most, it seemed a shame to waste it on just the one. So I'm gonna go in and do another one. Things to note while we're in here is in the last clip on Serene River, I told you that the reload was around about 4.5 seconds, 5. It's not. If we look in the stat list on the right hand side, courtesy of XVM, it gives you an actual reload time, and that obviously changes as you put different crew members in, add rammers and stuff. And we've got it down to a little under 3.5 seconds, which is pretty damn good. You get ammo racked, it goes up to about 6. Still not the end of the world. 6 seconds isn't too bad at all. It's not as good as 3.5, but it's not terrible. You can still pretty much get 1 or 2 shots in extra than a few of the guns that they're out there at that tier with their reload. Another thing to watch is obviously the ammo racks at the side. There's one here and another one there. That tends to, so if you can hide that, that's good. And I think the most vulnerable spot for the Comet is generally your driver, which sits to the right, and your gunner to the left. And it's only 76mm, so they do tend to get hit quite a lot. All the pluses of this tank, if you can keep it, is just keep the turret. Just keep that visible. You've got decent depression on the gun. It's not overly like too depression. It's okay, is what I'm trying to say. The depression on this tank, you can do with it, and if you have to angle it a little bit, like turn it around, and as you'll see in the next video, to get the angle down, you can do that as well. Obviously, your reverse is quite good, so you can take a shot, get out, reload, pop back up, take another one. So I think what we'll do, we'll just move straight into the next video. So anyway, because I've got so many of these blinking replays of the Comet, and it's just a great little tank, I figured to hell with it, I'd put 2 of them up. So this is the one where I finally got my ace in this tank. And it's in a tier 9 game of all games to get it in. I don't believe we actually see any 9s. I can't remember, we shall see. I'm pretty sure we don't, but we do see the 8s. And those damn Bulldogs. I think they're running the 10 clip magazine, and it has about approximately, for a 10 clip magazine, it has, I think it's a 30-second reload, which is pretty darn good. I mean, a bat chat, bearing in mind it's tier 10, but that's a 50-second reload. With a good crew you can get it to about 48, 47, and that only has 5 shots. And then the tier 8, is it? Oh yeah, T69 has 4 shots, and that's a 25-second reload, but for 4 shots. Whereas the Bulldog has 10. It's a tier 7 and a 30-second reload on 10 shots. That's pretty darn good. So I don't really want to go down there and mix it with them up and close. You've got to be a bit sneaky with them. They don't seem to be taking me, well, they won't, any bit of notice at all. They know I'm here, he's hiding. Incidentally, this is the first game with my 6th sense back on the tank as well, which was, I never actually had to use it to great effect, but it's always nice to have it. I generally run it as a passive scout. It's not quite fast enough like the Cromwell to do active with it, but it seems to work well as a passive, and it can brawl as well if it needs to. So we've got rid of the Bulldogs, and now I'm not frightened to go down and mix it up a little bit, because those Bulldogs, you just don't want to get in the middle of, as 20 shots, you're out if they focus fire. Which it didn't appear to be what they did, which was lucky for us really. One on his tracks. An AMX behind me, he's got a band on his gun, look. Very, very nice. That's another tank I'm going to have to get back playing and get to grips with. There must be something else around this corner, so we don't want to... No light bulb. Oh, somebody else spotted. That was the 30. 34. T62 tier 8. Is that the... That's not tier 8, it's tier 7. Is that the gold tank? T64, wasn't it a tier 6 to start with, and then they moved it to 7, and then they introduced a T64, something like that anyway. I believe that's the gold tank. It's like a mini Type 59. Obviously it doesn't have the armour because it's a light tank, but I believe the gun is quite a pain. And I hit the wall. So it's just me and a 34 and an object. I think they're going fairly okay in town, and they've got a prototype up against an IS-6 and an A44, but it should be okay. There's just not enough room to get around there to get a shot while he's reloading. Let's follow the object. The object's looking at. He doesn't look like he's got the. He's got a stock gun on that, but they've got fairly decent armour. What to do? What do I face? Oh, he's backing off. Opportunities. It's very an opportune tank. If you see it, take it. Back off. Try not to. A little bit of time to aim because he's still loading. Top of the turret again. One in the back of the turret. Okay. T62. Track damage again. Oh, the object. Got him on fire. I'm pretty lucky with the fires with this. I have got Deadeye on the tank as well. I mean, the crew have been, they're pretty blinged out. It was just the commander I moved over to the FV, purely for the spotting. He's pretty much dead in the water now. And that's with this gun, you just very rarely have to use gold with it. It's ammo racked. I'm getting shot from the rear now, I believe from the 34. Done my ammo rack again. That will only put it up to about a 6-second reload though, an ammo rack. It's not the worst thing that can happen to the tank. So we survived all that. That's both games, which is pretty much why I thought I'll put this one on the end, because it's 2 games where I absolutely get obliterated in terms of hit points. I end up with just double figures. But it's such a great machine. The Cromwell is pretty good. It's the best running packs, that one, with optics, lane drives, and a vertical stabiliser. Actually, I don't know if you can have that on the Cromwell, to be fair. I have to look up. No, I think you can. I think it's this one you can't have the vertical stabiliser, that's right. So that's why I've set it up as a passive. Because it's not as quick. So it really would need to shoot on the move, because the acceleration is not as fast as the Cromwell's is. It's just so agile, the Cromwell. And this one is quite fast, but it's just not. Its turning ability just isn't as good. And acceleration. The Comet is pretty much, if you're a Hellcat driver, it's like an aggressive Hellcat. Whereas the Hellcat can't brawl, this one can. It can snipe from a distance. In the larger games like the 9s, even though that's not what we've chosen to do in this game, but it can be done. You can brawl with it, as we've already seen, and it is fast enough to get away, and if it needs to. It does about 51, I believe, stock. If you've got a good driver and maybe some fuel, you'll get a bit more out of it. There's also a couple of perks, like a King of the Road, which I believe he has on this tank, because it is a little bit sluggish. There he is. Now, ideally, I did want to survive this game, so I was being a bit cautious with him. I want him to fire. He's fired. Or has he fired? Yeah, he's fired. But my reload 6 seconds may not be enough. Oh, I think I either hit the ground or the 34's gun. It didn't say that I hit his gun, but it did look like it. So, we got the mastery, we also got a ribbon, and if you look in the middle, you'll see the experience, just under 5,500 experience, which is not too bad. Total damage is about 2,900 odd. We ended up firing 26 shots, hitting 23 and penetrating 23 as well. So all in all, I wasn't disappointed.